Imagine an elderly leader, dressed simply, often delivering speeches while lying in bed due to illness, yet bold enough to challenge the greatest imperial powers of his time. His name was Mohammad Mossadegh. To many Iranians, he is a hero of democracy. To others, a controversial figure blamed for instability. One thing is certain, Mossadegh remains one of the most misunderstood figures in modern Iranian history. In this video, we will explore three key themes: a brief biography of Mohammad Mossadegh, the common misconceptions surrounding him, and the reasons he was ultimately overthrown, including the covert role of the CIA and Britain in the 1953 coup. Mohammad Mossadegh was born in 1882 in Tehran, into a noble family of the Qajar era. He was not a revolutionary who rose from the streets. He grew up among the elite, received a high-level education, and deeply understood law and politics. Mossadegh studied law in Europe, including in Switzerland, and became one of the first Iranians to earn a doctorate in law. This shaped his worldview profoundly. Constitutionalism, parliament, and the rule of law were central to his thinking. From a young age, he opposed absolute power, whether exercised by the Shah or by foreign powers. He supported Iran's constitutional revolution in the early 20th century, which aimed to limit royal authority and strengthen the parliament. Long before becoming prime minister, Mossadegh was known as a principled and outspoken member of parliament. He was uncompromising toward corruption, foreign interference, and any threat to national sovereignty. At the time, Britain effectively controlled Iran's oil industry through the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. Iran received only a small share of the profits, while its natural wealth flowed abroad. This was where Mossadegh emerged as a symbol of resistance. In 1951, he was appointed Prime Minister of Iran with one central mission: the nationalization of Iranian oil. This decision made him immensely popular at home, and deeply hated abroad. 1. Mossadegh was an Islamist. This is one of the most common, and most incorrect, claims. Mossadegh was not an Islamist. He never argued for an Islamic state, the implementation of Sharia law, or rule by clerics. His vision was explicitly secular and parliamentary. He was personally a Shia Muslim and respected religion as a social and cultural force. But this is fundamentally different from political Islamism as later promoted by figures like Ayatollah Khomeini. Second misconception: Mossadegh is often labeled as anti-Western. Mossadegh was not ideologically anti-Western. In fact, he admired Western democratic systems, particularly the British parliamentary model. What he opposed was exploitation and injustice, not Western culture or democracy. Ironically, he believed the United States would support Iran's democratic experiment. This turned out to be one of his greatest strategic miscalculations. Third misconception: Mossadegh is blamed for Iran's instability. Many narratives accuse Mossadegh of plunging Iran into chaos. In reality, much of the economic pressure and political destabilization came from external sanctions, oil embargoes, and internal sabotage by threatened elites. The nationalization of Iranian oil in 1951 was a historic moment. For the first time, a developing country openly seized control of a strategic resource from a Western imperial corporation. Britain responded aggressively. It imposed an oil embargo, pressured Iran economically, and brought the dispute to the International Court of Justice, where Iran ultimately prevailed. But Britain did not stop there. In 1953, the CIA and British intelligence, MI6, launched a covert operation known as Operation Ajax. They funded propaganda campaigns, bribed politicians and military officers, organized staged demonstrations, and engineered artificial chaos in Tehran. Mossadegh was tried, imprisoned, and later placed under house arrest for the remainder of his life. He died in 1967, isolated and under constant surveillance. There was no wealth, no power, no revenge. Only the legacy of a leader who attempted to bring democracy to Iran, and failed, not because of his people, but because of global geopolitics.